Well, we have a heat wave in Boston, but the Red Sox on the field have not been hot. They've lost three straight, and they got to win those final two games against the Angels to come home with a winning road trip. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Red Sox Now, as always presented by the great Fan Arch here on YouTube. We thank you for watching. We thank you for all the terrific support. The subscribers are going up and up and up. The comments, we're going to do, as you see on our board here, every day we're going to have one or two comments, maybe more. I don't know if we have time. We will do a couple today. And again, we thank you. Subscribe and keep those comments rolling in. We'll read them every day. And make sure to share the channel. Well, man, that was ugly. It didn't start ugly. The Red Sox right away, a 3-run top of the first, but the Angels scored 5. They scored in 2 innings. 5 in the first in their first at bat, 4 in the 8th in their final at bat, and they win 9-5. That's we're going back and forth between, like my good friend Mike Violet will post on my Facebook, Groundhog Day. Some of these games just look so much alike with the base running. The Red Sox did make one error last night, Wong on a throw. The walks, you had 11 walks. I mean, in another game, you score 5 runs and lose. There's too many of these games. And at some point, the organization, has got to look at this as a big deal that they got to fix going forward. You can't continue to run into outs, throw to wrong bases, play bad defense. Like, these things can't continue, and it won't matter who the players are. We're obsessed with spending, and listen, I don't really care about that. I care about good players. This is a kind of a Monday morning quarterback, but it made me think: what was the sense of not keeping Nick Pivetta? You basically signed Walker Buehler over Nick Pivetta. Did that make any sense? Maybe at the time, I guess he's younger, but a guy that's been hurt. A guy the Dodgers didn't want anymore, that always worries me. But really, was there, and maybe it was because Pivetta wanted more of a long-term commitment and they weren't willing to do that, and you did 1 year. But Buehler, they offered Buehler more than one. But 40-40, this is the halfway point today. Game 81. So regardless of a win or loss, obviously a win, you're over 500, but will it be a disappointment for the first half? Yes. The Red Sox were in a real good spot for a couple of weeks because of the pitching. It was something that I talked about a lot, that they're not winning because they're not pitching. And now it's going back to everything else again, where their starting pitching hasn't been good, but the defense and the base running really, that's hurting them. And that's why you get frustrated with this team at times, because to me, it is a team that's good enough. I know the bullpen gave up 4 runs last night. I get that. Whitlock did. But overall, Guerrero had to come in the 5th. He goes 2 scoreless innings and strikes out 3. Your bullpen has been really good for the first half, considering how much they've been used. I still hear people say it's not good. I mean, come on. For the amount of times they've been used, when we look at first half, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll really break down some first half pluses and minuses, thumbs up, thumbs down. And all the criticism that Rafaela gets. Rafaela has had a pretty good first half. Trevor Story hit another home run last night. So him at the halfway point, he's projected to have a 240 year with 22 home runs and 75 to 80 RBIs, and he plays Gold Glove shortstop. You look at that. Shortstop, right, center, and your catcher Narvaez, 4 Gold Glovers. It's again, we've been like this, but that was a rough outing from Buehler. And does he get skipped next time? I think maybe. He really was fighting it in that first inning. 4 innings, 3 hits, but he walked 7 batters. And again, it screws up the bullpen rotation. You had to use Whitlock last night. Alcala allowed 2 inherited runners to score and a hit. The Angels used a bunch of pitchers last night. Jeez. 6 relievers. But you've lost 3 in a row. But, I wonder what happens with Buehler. That's they just, The walks can't happen like that. That first inning was ugly, all capital letters. And you got another outing tonight from Crochet following a loss. It's almost every time. So you really need him to come through. He'll take on Tyler Anderson, a left-hander, so that means we'll see the Wonder Twins, Ref Snyder, and Romy Gonzalez will be in the lineup. But disappointing. The Red Sox have, they win that series in Seattle. They beat good arms, and all of a sudden they've lost 3 in a row, and they've had a couple games where they've let, the last 2 those are the tough ones. And you drop a game and a half out of the wild card. Not saying that there's of course, there's 82 games left, but when you're battling with these teams, the Angels are right behind you. You don't want to give games away, and that's what I've kind of felt like the last 2 were. But you have a chance, if you win the next 2, and you can grab this series, which you'd still finish 5-4, which is what I had hoped for. To arrive there, though, it's going to be a challenge. You got to win the next 2 games. But, you feel pretty good tonight with Crochet. You always do. So Cora blows up on a bad base running play. This is pretty basic. And, the guys on TV and radio were screaming at it. Toro hits that ground ball that's in front. Duran's at second. The ball's in front of you. You only go to third if it's hit to your left, and he was frozen. So when that ball's hit at you, you got to go back to second. He didn't move, and then he takes off. He's out at third. They throw to second base, and what Cora was livid is that the second baseman cannot block the bag. It's similar to a play at the plate. Toro was out, but the second baseman, Rengifo, blocking the bag, and Cora was mad. He went crazy on the umpire, Porter, and Will Fleming on radio said there's got to be something between him and Alan Porter because he just went crazy. But, again, that's all predicated from a bad base running play by Duran. You can't do that. And that's stuff that, Duran is 28, 29 years old. Those are the things that drive me absolutely bonkers. That is as basic a base running, and I don't want to bring up like amateur baseball, but they teach you that at the very lower levels of baseball when you're 12, 13 years old. To your left you go, to your right you stay. Or at you. And Duran, in that secondary league, froze on a ground ball hit to him. That stuff can't happen. And it is happening. I didn't like Abreu. He has, in the first inning, you've got a big rally going. You scored a couple runs. A ball got by the catcher, and he hesitated going to second. And the pitcher on the overthrow behind the plate threw him out. And it wasn't close. It was the second out. But why try that? If you don't go right away, don't go at all. And then Hamilton got a real bad jump stealing a base. So there was 3 times last night. Again, that stuff has got to get fixed. And I felt like you went a couple weeks. It seemed like when the pitching was really good, you didn't do those things, right? I think that goes hand in hand with the defense. You didn't score many runs, so you didn't have a lot of guys on base. But that stuff has got to stop. Man, oh, man, it is. I wish we could quantify that to see how many times, a bad base running play. Do the analytics people, I'm sure they keep track of that. And it seems like like I've said before, in the analytics day, that stuff doesn't seem to matter anymore. And we need that to come back. The basic fundamentals of running the bases correctly has got to be implemented. And it's everywhere. It really is. It's not, I've seen it. And it started like in 17 and 18. I saw it in the minor leagues. It's like all of a sudden, that's it. No one's holding runners anymore. And that's a part of the game I do not like and I do not think is better now because I've been able to compare it. And people who are younger say it is, but they've not watched. I remember, as a kid, you go weeks. You would never, ever see someone run the bases the way we see in a game. Seriously. You go months without seeing this. Guys forgetting the count and all that. Never. It never happened, but it's just consistent now. All right, let's get to the user comment first. Sean Norton, 69. I think Haney from Pittsburgh, left-handed flamethrower. But I think despite what Breslow says, they won't be significant buyers. Possibly a lot of preliminary discussions will be groundwork for offseason. Yeah, great point. Where I think contracts will only be 2 to 3 years with a strike. Excellent comment. You were absolutely right, and I think that's probably why Bregman has the opt-outs too, where he can just opt out, and then, if there's a strike, he can opt out next year, and then they redo something. But I think that is a great call, Sean. You were right on the money. I mean, that's a home run comment. It really is. All right. According to The Athletic, there is growing speculation that outfielder Jarren Duran could be traded, especially after the Devers deal signaled a possible shift towards a younger core, which we see. So a lot of teams interested in Duran. With Abreu back, they're going to get Bregman back. We don't know when. And obviously they want Anthony to play every day. In left field would be his spot. So, I pose the question. There's a lot of people that are down on Jarren Duran. But if you look at it from another team, this is what you have to do. Take the lens off this one. And the team that I told you would be absolutely perfect for is the Padres. They don't want to lead off Fernando Tatis or Luis Arraez. Look at their team. Merrill's having a good year, but you put Duran in that lineup with that offense. So then it's Duran, Tatis, Merrill, Machado, Arraez, Bogart, Sheets, Iglesias, Cronenworth. He changes that whole team because you've got really good hitters in that lineup, and that's a good lineup. Bogarts is starting to hit. Arraez, as we know, Arraez is hitting cleanup. I don't think they want that. They don't have a leadoff hitter. They've tried Arraez. They've tried Merrill. He would be a slam dunk. What do you get back? You're not getting anyone off the 25-man roster, I don't think. And you ask me why? Well, because San Diego knows what you're doing. They know you want to play Roman Anthony every day. I don't think you get what you think you're going to get back. It probably would be prospects. I doubt it'd be someone off the 25-man, but I think that is the absolute perfect spot for Duran, and that's a perfect spot to end. Halfway point tonight, Game 81. Crochet in the mound. We'll talk all about it on Wednesday. I can't wait with your comments. More trade rumors as well. I'm Mike Antonellis. Follow me at The Radio Mike on all my social media channels. I'll comment. You'll see Mike Antonellis Media on YouTube commenting on all your great comments. So subscribe to the channel. Have yourself a great Tuesday, and go Sox.